Hello everyone, I've got a quick low budget live video to show you what's new in tsPortal, which I think the new stuff in here will fundamentally change the way you use it, because no longer will you have to wait while you import and refresh lots of jobs. Let me sign in and I'll show you. Okay, first thing you notice is by default when you launch it, it will jump straight to jobs mode and won't present you with the familiar file import refresh window. And no jobs have come in, so it was instantly really quick. You see there's no jobs in tsPortal at all. So obviously it's very fast. Now, if you don't like what I'm about to show you and you want to use it the old way and you want that window to pop up each time you launch, just go to Preferences, Edit Preferences, and check the option Show Refresh at Startup, and you'll be back to what you're familiar with. But I really do think you won't need it any longer. So you've come to jobs mode, you're in this mode here, and you can now just simply search for what you want, and it will only import what you want and what you need and nothing more, and therefore it's going to be very quick. You see in the edit menu, we've got edit database searches. So where it will search the database on the fly for what you need rather than bring in everything at the beginning. The find key you're probably familiar with because that's been around for a little while. That's where you can search the database for a key, a job key, a subject key, or an order key. And it will sort of instantly find that without you having to refresh the jobs first. So just a quick recap of that. And I should say finding by a key is probably still the best way to find something because it takes you straight to what you need. Let me get a key or two. I don't know. The thing is, the beauty of this is you don't even have to know what key it is. So it's great from a customer service point of view. If somebody's calling, they've got a key, you don't know if it's a shoot key or an order key. Just get any key and plonk it in here and hit find. And it will bring in only what's relevant to that key. That key must have been an order key because it's brought me straight to that order. You see it was really quick, and it imported the whole job. It does import the job and then takes you to that key, but that's a lot quicker than having to import a whole season just to get to a particular order. So Control F, plonk in a key, any key. Let me get this one. And it will instantly find what you're looking for. That must have been a subject key, Jim Green. It brought in just Jim Green's job, which was Greenville High School, and goes to that subject. So, one more. Control. Let's see what this one is down the bottom. So I repeat, the finding by key is, I reckon, the best way to find stuff. But you're not always going to have a key. This one happened to be the actual job. Okay, what if you don't have a key? You want to open a particular job or find a subject or look up an order, but you don't actually have the key, and that can often be the case for customer service people. Let's go back to that menu to see we've now got database searches for the key. We know about that one, subject, jobs, and order, each with a keyboard shortcut. Let me start with jobs. You can find a job by its name or season, workspace, and account thereof. Basically, you're going to perform a search with one or more of those criteria. I think most often you guys are just going to be using the job. That's what I'm going to do. So, Greenville High School. And it goes and imports just that job. So if you're coming in here for a report for a particular job, you can just go straight to that job, run your report, go to the next job, and just import those jobs as you need them again, rather than have to refresh for a whole season or your whole database. Now, what's important for you to understand and to sort of get your head around is that it takes wildcards, which are going to be extremely useful to you. Let me go back to it. Shift Control J to find a job. Now, I've got other green, I'll call them green jobs. So green percent. The percent is a wildcard. It basically means replace it with anything. So here I'm going to find any jobs that start with the word green, and I've got anything else afterwards. So find, and it very quickly brings up a list for you. I've got 9 jobs in my database that start with the word green after that. It's variable, and you then zoom into the one you want. And again, you saw how quickly it imports. I should say, all other things being equal, the actual import is faster now as well. So we're not just importing less data because we're just going to bring in the job or the thing you want, but the actual importing of it is faster. Now those percents, one more example, don't have to be at the end. They can be at the beginning or in the middle. For example, percent hill percent. So anything in front of the word hill, anything after the word hill, find that, and you can see it's found all my jobs that met that criteria. Anything in front of the word hill, anything after the word hill. Again, you just click that key in that list, the job key in that case, to take you to that job. So that's jobs. What about subjects? You can go to the edit menu, or get used to shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. Shift Control S brings you up find subjects. It's going to find a subject from a database search. And again, this also takes percent wildcards and can be very useful for finding subjects if you're not quite sure, for example, how to spell someone's name. First name, last name, ID. Again, you're probably not going to use ID as much, but let's do it with first name. I'm going to look up Danielle Devereaux, D-A-N. I'm not sure how to spell Danielle, so I'll just do D-A-N percent. And Devereaux likewise, I'm not sure how to spell, so I'll go D-E-V percent. Forget the ID. And it's found me all the Daniela. So lucky I didn't type in the word Danielle because her name was Daniela. So it found me all the Daniela Devereaux. And again, I can zoom in to that subject really quick. That is so much quicker than the way you used to do it, where you have to spend 20 minutes importing the whole database first, perhaps. So that's the subjects. Let's look at an order. Shift Control O, or get to orders mode from the menu, or the order search, I should say. Now the focus here is on online orders. This is going to be really important, I think, or interesting for customer service people who take calls. Often they're for online orders. The person may have a key, may not. Remember, if they've got a key, find them by the key. If they don't, ask them for the email address that they ordered with. You can certainly put in first name and last name as well. I'll do an email address. This one, because I know there's plenty of orders for this email address. And click find. And in a very blink of an eye, it found all the orders for that customer email address. And I again just would click that key to zoom in on the order in question. So those 3 searches searched the database directly and only imported what was needed to show me the result. How do the old searches, the quick search windows up here in jobs mode, orders and subjects, how do they now play with this? Well, what I'll do is I'll go back to jobs. I'm going to find a different job. And we'll do this one because I know there's a lot of subjects in there. And so I found this job, Southern Cross. It has imported all the subjects at the same time. So you can see the subject count. There's 1,214 subjects, of which 1,015 are matched. That's the total number of images in there. and you can see all the subjects came in. So when I go to subjects mode, there's already 1214 subjects in there. All right, but the question was, how do these quick searches play, the quick finds? So in subjects mode, when you search in that window, it's going to be searching simultaneously for the first name, the last name, the key, and the ID. And it will search preferentially for data that's already in. So I've already got 1200 subjects in here, courtesy of Southern Cross 2025 job. So if I search, for example, someone whose name is Farley and hit enter, it stopped there. It found me the 2 subjects whose, in this case, last name are Farley in this job. So that's where this search is different. It will search first amongst the data that's already in there and present you that result if there is one. If there isn't, it will, by default, go off and search the rest of the database. For example, if I go Lavelle, you see it didn't find a Lavelle in the Southern Cross. It's gone through and looked at every job in the database to find me the string of Lavelle. And I can obviously click the key to go to that subject. If you don't like that behavior, let's do another one. We'll go back to Pharrell. Yep, so Pharrell, there was no Pharrell in the current set of data, so now it went off and looked at the whole database. If you don't want it to do that, you can go to your preferences, edit preferences, and turn off auto search database. Okay, and now if you use the subject quick find window, it doesn't automatically go off and search the database, but you'll get this window if it doesn't find it. So it didn't find Pharrell in the current loaded job. It will ask you, do you want to go off and search the database, and you get to the same point. For my money, I would probably leave that option on, but that's up to you. Now, what if you are looking up at you've loaded, Lookout Hill 2012 is in there. There's obviously a Thomas in this job, but you want to find any Thomases outside of this job. Now you can do the percent again. Thomas percent, and it does a database search. It's like the quick find, like the instant find database search from earlier, but you've done it from the subject window. So it's now looking for anything in first name, last name, key, and ID field with the string Thomas. Hence, it's found you subjects whose first name are Thomas, and there will be should be others where the last name is Thomas. There you go, plenty. And that concept is the same elsewhere in jobs mode. The quick search window will search the job for a job key for whatever you enter, and it will search for a job name. So if I put in Greenville here, see, it won't find it in the currently loaded data because the only job in there is Lookout Hill, but it's going to find me, went off and did the database search by default, because in my preferences I said search the database by default, and I choose the job I want. So in jobs mode, the quick search in the top left searches key and name, job name, and in orders mode, you're most likely going to search for keys all the time, but you could search by name. So the quick search in orders mode, this quick search window at the top, will search for an order amongst the currently loaded job that's in there. If it has to go off into the database, it will search the whole database for the key you enter, and it will also search for a job name. So for example, if I do Lookout, so it's found 10 orders in Lookout Hill 2024. So again, by putting percent in that window, it behaved as had I used the quick search, but I looked by job. Play around with it. It's a lot simpler once you sort of get familiar with it than it is to explain in many respects. Let me know what you think. See you next time, guys. Thank you.